What is up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Emphasis on Sports. I'm your host, Damon Anthony, and as usual, we kick the bobo just about the sports, not about the side stuff. Like and subscribe if you're new. Find us everywhere that you can stream a lovely podcast. Check it out. Always informative, sometimes real fun. All right, y'all. We just wrapped up NFL Week 5. Man, it was good. Good games, highs, lows. As you see it, as a 49er fan, it was a great weekend for me. 49ers end up leading the division. You see some other teams that we necessarily don't like lose. Always good. Let's recap it all. Started off Thursday night with San Francisco going into LA to take on the Rams. Big time division matchup. Both teams walking in on really good records, looking really solid on this young season. 49ers came in and got the job done. As usual, 49ers heavily injured. You walk in without your starting quarterback, your top two receivers, your top tight end, you're missing pieces on defense, on offensive line. Still figure out a way to get it done. Mac Jones had damn near his best day as a pro, looked real good in that Shanahan offense. And right now, Shanahan's looking like he's doing one of his best coaching jobs that I've ever seen him do. Cheers to you. Meanwhile, with Rams look just fine. We know what 49ers come with the defense. The Rams, we played keep away. When the Rams got the ball, they moved it at will. The Rams are going to be just fine. But in this one, San Francisco knocks off the Rams 26-23. Moving on to Sunday. First game of Sunday was London game. Always love a good London game. Minnesota and the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. Minnesota did what they had to do and won, but the Browns did make this a real interesting game kind of the whole way through. This was the first start of Dylan Gabriel's career. He looked all right. A lot of people may say a lot of different things. He went out there, dropped 17 as in his first start against this Brian Flores defense that's really damn good. And he looked okay. He looked okay. In other Cleveland Browns related news, today Joe Flacco just got traded to the Bengals. Shador moves up on the depth chart. Bengals may have some help with offense because boy, do they need it. But stay tuned on that one. Once we got into the Sunday actual lineup, good games. So there were some blowouts. There were some good games, some surprisingly good games. All right. First, we're going to talk about the Raiders going into Indy. Man, the Colts are to me starting to look like a team that is for real. Colts beat the shit out of the Raiders 40-6. Really wasn't that close. The Raiders looked absolutely terrible. Meanwhile, the Colts look like a team that know what they're doing. I mean, if we're going to be completely honest, they damn near the one game that they lost, they damn near should have won that one if it wasn't for some costly mistakes on their own behalf. They may have won that game. Right now, they're sitting tied at the top of the AFC, and they're only going to get better. I believe. I truly believe that. But big shout out to the Colts knocking off the Raiders 40-6. Then we have the New York Giants going into New Orleans and getting smacked around. The Giants started off looking really well. Jackson Dart, we know this is his second start. Started off looking very solid, looked like things were going to go in a good direction. They did not at all. The Saints, who I believe are the worst team in the league, went in there, held on their home court, their home field, and they did their thing against the Giants. One thing I'm going to say, stepping away from this game, Spencer Rattler may be a little bit better than they expected. Dude actually looked all right. And at this moment, I don't think that the Saints are the worst team in the league. They're shitty, but not the worst. Saints lose to the Saints 26-14. Then we have the Dallas Cowboys at the Jets. I think a lot of people were expecting probably a 40-43 game. Neither one of these teams still look good. Neither one of them look like they have good defenses. We know Dallas has a very solid offense. Dallas did go into the Meadowlands and knock off the Jets 37-22. Wasn't really a close game. The Cowboys had this game under control damn near the whole game. The Jets are looking like what we thought they were. They started the season actually looking real solid. Now, not so much. Then we're going to have Denver, Philly. This was one, I definitely had this one on its own TV. Definitely was checking this one out. I came into the season believing that Denver was going to be one of those teams to beat in the AFC. They're not proving me wrong. Meanwhile, Philly, this is their first loss in a very long time. Denver went to Philly and won this one 21-17. It did not look like it was going to end up this way. Philly jumped out to a lead and kind of kept adding it on a little bit. Denver shut that shit down in the fourth quarter, came back strong, and won the game in Philly. A lot of people would ask, is this time to be alarmed? Maybe. Seriously, maybe. But Denver is continuing to look like the team that has gotten better, those that gradually build. They got the coach, then they got the quarterback. They're getting pieces all over the place. This team really pulls it together. They're going to be tough. They're going to be damn tough. Meanwhile, Denver knocks off Philly 21-17. Then we had the Carolina Panthers host the Miami Dolphins. This was a game that, to me, this was a nobody cares game. No one cared. No one cared at all. Ended up being one of the more entertaining games because both of these teams suck. Absolutely are terrible. Miami, worse than Carolina. Carolina, we understand why they're in the situation that they're in. Second-year coach, third-year quarterback. Everybody's trying to figure themselves out. A lot of draft picks, a lot of people coming in. We know that this is a team on the build. Meanwhile, Miami, they're a team that should be better than this. I get it. They just lost Tyreek Hill, but they should be better than this. There's no reason that Carolina should come from behind and knock off the Dolphins in the fashion that they did. This one's getting real close. Mike McDaniel, bring it in. Bring it in. We always got a room at home. Ask Big Bob. Come on home. Dolphins keep going down like this one. There's going to be a new coach in Miami. Big shout out to Carolina, knocking off Dolphins 27-24. Then we had a very surprising, unexpected game, at least in my eyes. The Houston Texans beat the living shit out of the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, I get it. Lamar Jackson's on the sideline. Cooper Rush is starting. I totally get that and understand that. Man, 44-10. That Baltimore defense that has been vaunted and huge for all of the 2000s is no more. Their defense is weak. Remember, Houston coming into this game, we really didn't know who they were. Well, now we don't know who Baltimore is. Baltimore's defense looks terrible. Baltimore special teams, terrible. Offense, less than mid without Lamar Jackson. There's going to need to be some change there. Who knows what that's going to be? Maybe that's players, maybe that's some coach. I don't know. But it's obvious that some changes need to be made in Baltimore. Houston, meanwhile, this is how you get back on the horse and you get on track. Even though Baltimore looks like a very sad team, Houston coming in there and taking care of business when they're supposed to, that's what you have to do. If you don't do that, you don't deserve to win. Big shout out to Houston for beating the living shit out of Baltimore, 44-10. Then another game that to me was a nobody cares game. Nobody cared. Nobody cared. The two nobody cares games this week were two of the more exciting games to watch. Tennessee Titans go into Arizona and get their first win. Arizona should have won this game. Coulda, shoulda, did not. They couldn't get things done right. They had some ball security issues. They had their own problems. Meanwhile, Tennessee did what you're supposed to do. You don't stop until the clock reached 000. Tennessee came back, knocked this one out of the park. This bodes very well for the future of Cam Ward with that team, the coach, the whole squad, because now everyone knows that when shit's sticky, we can get this done. Tennessee, big shout out going into Arizona, knocking them off. Tennessee wins that one 20. Then we look over at Tampa. Tampa went to go visit Seattle. This was a game I was very interested in seeing. I actually liked Seattle to win this one just because they were at home. Seattle played a marvelous game, but when it mattered, when it was time to win, Baker Mayfield did what he's supposed to do and brought the Bucs this win in Seattle. On the last pod, I talked about how tough it is to play against that 12-man atmosphere in Seattle. Tampa came in and Tampa did it with no problem. Tampa is a team that is dangerous and is going to be one to watch. Speaking of Tampa, in a couple of days, I will be at Niners Buccaneers going crazy. Please believe it. Am I worried? Absolutely. Tampa's good, but we are the Niners. You know how that goes. Big shout out Tampa going into Seattle, taking care of business, 38-35. Then we had Detroit up against Cincinnati. I expected Detroit to win this one by about 30. They kept it reasonable, kept it double digits. Detroit went to Cincinnati and won 37-24. Currently, the Bengals, they're just bad. You see how big Joe Burrow is for that team. Without Joe Burrow, that offense really is nothing. They had a couple highlights in the second half. Nothing. A lot of turning over the ball. The running game is non-existent. You got Jamar Chase. You got T. Higgins. There should be a lot more action. We know Joe Flacco's on the way to Cincinnati. He likes to throw that deep ball. Maybe that helps. I don't know. He also likes to throw picks. Browning. Over in Detroit, Detroit is looking like they're supposed to. Everyone expected Detroit to vie for a Super Bowl title, to be a contender. They are absolutely doing that. They're coming into people's house. They're rolling. We know that first game against Green Bay may have been a little bit of an aberration. Totally get that. But right now, roll in. All right. Then we had Washington go into LA, knock off the Chargers. Washington looked really good. The return of Jaden Daniels. That Washington offense looked pretty solid. Bill was getting it going. I'm really expecting to see a little more from Luke McCaffrey at some point. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of expecting it there. But Washington, really good team. Really good team. Meanwhile, the Chargers, yes, they have some work that they need to do. They need to pick it back up. They just lost on Marion Hampton. That one's definitely going to be a tough loss for them. He was a young rookie stud running back. He's gone for a couple weeks on the IR. Let's see where they pick up. Does Vidal do well? I don't know. But shout out to the Commanders for taking care of that one. Sunday night football game. This was one of those ones that you end up watching all the way through. The New England Patriots versus the Buffalo Bills. I told you before, I love a good division matchup. This one did not disappoint. This was the return of Stephon Diggs. Stephon Diggs was all over the place. He was open. He was not open, but one thing he was doing, he was getting that ball in the hands and catching that rock. And he put up fantastic numbers against the Bills. Meanwhile, the Bills, the beginning of the game, it kind of looked like they were just kind of getting into it. Looked a little bit like, we know that we should win this game. We know we should do well at this game. What typically happens in those instances, you lose. You lose. And the Bills, hey, look, they're going to be right there. They're going to be at the end of the season. They're going to be looking for that Super Bowl appearance. They're a good team, and they're going to be a good team. That's a fact. This week, they just happen to lose to the Patriots, and the Patriots, they're getting better week by week. Now we see what Drake May can do with the actual number one top tier receiver. This might get sticky in the AFC East. I think the Bills are still going to dominate that division, still going to win that division. But the Patriots are still here. They're still around. Monday Night Football. Last night's game, that one was an exciting, real exciting game. Jaguars and the Chiefs. I think going into this game, nobody really was sure what the Jaguars were going to be. Are they really that good? Are they not? Has there been luck? Remember, last couple of years, I think a lot of people have had some faith in the Jaguars, and it hasn't worked out at all. This year, they're looking all right. They went ahead and knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs, and I don't know if anybody really was expecting that. Final drive, Trevor Lawrence. This is what I think everyone has been waiting to see from Trevor Lawrence. When your back is against the wall and you got a top dog on the other side of that field, what are you going to do? Are you going to hold it down? Are you going to hold it together, lead us down, and get this W, get this win? Or are you going to fold? In previous incarnations, we've kind of seen Trevor Lawrence fold. Not last night. Last night, he stood up, stood tall, went toe to toe with Patrick Mahomes, and went and did what he was supposed to do and knocked off the Chiefs. Congrats to that. Chiefs, I don't really have nothing bad to say. Chiefs, they played all right ball. They just played against a team that was out to get it a little more and was out to really roll and get that W last night. Shout out there. Cannot wait. Cannot wait until week 6. I mean, part of it is week 6. I'm going to be at the game. I'll be 49ers at Raymond James Stadium going crazy. I'm bringing out the big 49er logo. We're going nuts. Cannot wait for that. But then there's always going to be good matchups. There's always going to be good football to watch. Love that. Let's move on to some other sports. WNBA right now in the finals. The Aces are up 2-0 on the Mercury. Probably should be a 1-1 because that game 1, Phoenix had some timely mistakes that kept the Aces around and really didn't let Phoenix charge ahead. So I really think that they sold that game. If they win that game 1-1, hey, we may be leading to a 5-game series. I don't think that that's going to happen. Aces are up 2-0. Asia Wilson, Jackie Young, they're playing like a 1-2 punch. These are the 1-2 punches that we always talk about in sports. If we're going to look at it from a WNBA standpoint, Brandon Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu, that's a hell of a 1-2, right? Jackie Young, Asia Wilson, they hitting you with that 1-2 that's even crazier. They're combining for 50 to 60 points game by game. And it's really, really hard to defend that, because what's happening is if Jackie's going off, let her eat, let her cook. Oh, now it's Asia, now let her cook. Now as a defense, you got to figure that out. And that's not always the easiest thing to do. It's been a real cool finals to watch. Always, I enjoy the WNBA playoffs. It's a real solid basketball, real good, fundamentally sound basketball, and I'm loving watching that. But I think it's about to be over after tomorrow night. I really do think the Aces are going to go ahead, take this crown, load up the parade. Now in the MLB playoffs have been rolling around. We know last week we had some of those wild card matchups. Now we're in the ALDS, we're in the NLDS. Toronto is up 2-0 on the Yankees. Toronto letting them fly. I'm talking about getting the ball out of the park. No problem. Love to see the young core that they have in Toronto. This is a core that could be around for a little bit. I mean, you got Bichette, you got Vladdy Jr., you got some young, solid guys that could be there for a little bit, and you can turn that into a thing. I'm old enough to remember when the Blue Jays won it all, early 90s, right? Joe Carter doing his thing. This may be a reincarnation of that team. That stadium up there in Toronto, absolutely rocking, and they love this team, and I love to see it. This one, I think the Blue Jays are going to go ahead and knock off the Yankees, and we'll just see what happens next for them. The other series in the American League is Seattle Mariners and Detroit Tigers. That one's tied up 1-1. This one should, to me, also roll a little long. I think this one's going to be a 7-game series. I really do. Seattle, very good, very, very good. But Detroit has pitching, and what you want in the playoffs is top-level pitching. So we'll have to see how that one goes. You look over in the National League, the Dodgers up 2-0 on the Phillies. And the Dodgers, they look like what we think that they are. Remember, the Dodgers fully loaded. They got, if you want to talk about high paid players, top line guys, they have that everywhere. The Phillies also very well loaded, but the Phillies just lost these 2 games at home. That's tough. That Philly crowd can be raucous and really, really good at having the Phillies back. But now you go out to LA, all the way across. Dodgers fans, they're in, they're locked in, they're going to be ready to go. This one, I think, is going to be 5 games. I don't know if Philly can rebound from being down 2-0. I just don't see it happening. Meanwhile, you got the Milwaukee Brewers. Milwaukee's up 2-0 on Chicago. Milwaukee's just a fantastic all-around team. Yesterday, I saw the Cubs go out to a 3-0 lead, top of the one, like that. Like that. That lead was gone, and the Brewers are up 4-3, and they just kept chugging along. I think the Brewers, I want to see personally, Brewers, Dodgers, Mariners, Blue Jays. I think that would be a fantastic set of championship series matchups. We'll see what happens. Let's stay tuned, y'all. We got games going right now. I'm about to go check those out. You see some of the setup. You should see the inside of the crib. You know what I mean? Look, love y'all. Rock with y'all. We'll recap. We'll look into week 6 in the NFL, preview that, talk about college football. I'm pretty sure WNBA might end up in a sweep, so we'll celebrate some champs there. Talk about the Major League Baseball playoffs. Whew, lot of sports business. On top of that, hockey on the way, NBA on the way. What a time to be a sports fan, y'all. Well, until I see y'all again, I will holla.